Uh, uh, I will never sell my Bitcoin. I have taken out a small loan against it just to.
Yo, this is the thing, man. This is what everyone's gonna unfortunately have to learn the hard way. The invention of Bitcoin is the invention of being able to hold something personally by yourself without a third party, a digital asset, a digital thing that can't be replicated, that doesn't require a third party. It removes the middleman. So people are saying that they're not going to sell their Bitcoin, they're going to lend their Bitcoin. Well, lending is selling your Bitcoin. Call it what you want: lending, selling, gifting, borrowing. Doesn't matter. When you give up your private keys to someone else, when you transfer your Bitcoin from your wallet that you have the private keys to somebody else's wallet where you don't own the private keys, that's as good as gone. You might feel good because it's lending and they have a promise to pay you back. They're going to say they pay you back. Okay, maybe they do. Hopefully they do. But maybe they don't. You're playing that game. You don't own it anymore. It's as good as gone. That's the invention. The ability to hold your own money without anyone in the middle. That is represented by a private key. And once you give up ownership of that private key, you don't hold that Bitcoin no more. So people are going to have to learn the hard way. And we already see it, but people just don't get it. We already see it constantly. We see it with, I don't even know. It happens so often. FTX was the big one recently. Celsius, BlockFi. There's been a ton. There's been a ton. BitConnect, USI Tech. The flavor might be slightly different each time, but all of them, the similarities is you give up your Bitcoin keys, you send your Bitcoin to somebody else, and they're going to give you yield. They're going to give you cash flow. They're going to give you passive income to save you, to help you. You're going to give them a certain amount of Bitcoin, and they're going to drip you a certain percentage of your own money, your own Bitcoin back in fiat. And you got to hope that they don't rug you before you get your whole capital back. And these things, man, they take years, 3 years, 5 years to get your capital back. So you might give them one whole Bitcoin, and they're going to give you that value over 3 to 4 to 5 years back in dollars. So Bitcoin could go up in value. So now you're chasing it even harder. It's going to take even longer to get your value back. It's a crazy game. It's just what we like to do as humans, though. You know, we can't stop it. We can't help it. We love playing this game. We love having our cake and eating it too. We love a free lunch. We have to get free value from someone else. But all these companies are going to rug. It doesn't matter who it is, the top tier Wall Street. It just doesn't matter. They want your Bitcoin. They're going to give you free fiat. You're happy with free fiat until whatever, something breaks. The scale tips. The company goes out of business. They freeze withdrawals. They're not letting you, your account's locked. It's suspicious activity. Now you got to jump through all these hoops to get your shit back, to get your Bitcoin back. Now I get it. We got bills, right? We all got bills. So we need, and everyone's accepting dollars for our bills. You got to pay your mortgage, your electric bill, whatever it is that you got, your food bill. You got to pay with dollars. So we need these dollars. Hey, and if you got Bitcoin, you can give it sounds like a perfect solution. You can give your Bitcoin up. You can get your dollars back. But that's the trap. It's not. We're in this middle. We're in this transition period where Bitcoin's becoming money. It's not quite there yet because it's not widely adopted, widely accepted for goods and services like the dollar is. So we're kind of stuck in this situation where we hold value in Bitcoin and we have expenses and our Bitcoin's just sitting there burning a hole in our pocket. We wanted to do something. We're poking it with a stick. So we lend it out. We take that risk. We add that risk on a low risk item that Bitcoin is, super low risk, we add all this risk on top by lending it out. And we think we're winning by doing it. And sure, some people will win, that's the thing. Some people will be successful where they lend their Bitcoin out. They get the USD back monthly, whatever it is. They do it for 3-4 years, perhaps. They get their full value of Bitcoin out of it, and they get to withdraw their Bitcoin at the end of it, and all is good. And they made it. That's possible. I'm sure people have done that. But the majority of people lose. Why would these companies do it if they weren't winning? They're winning, not you. Same thing with FTX. Some people were successful, I'm sure, in FTX, but most people failed. So that's what it is. I just think we just got to learn the hard way. People are going to do it. And then you can say, okay, fine. It makes sense. You're putting in that risk. What can you do? What can you do? Well, you could just sell your Bitcoin. If you need cash, you could shave off a little bit of your Bitcoin, just sell it right then and there. Just sell it for cash. You're giving up your keys anyway, so give up your keys, sell it for cash, and that's it. Sell it for cash. Yeah, you don't have that light. You don't have that light at the end of the tunnel. You don't have that promise to get your Bitcoin back. You don't have your cake and eat it too. You're not like, well, with your example, I'm going to lose my Bitcoin forever. Guaranteed. With this other example, I could lend my Bitcoin, get the cash, and have the hope of getting my Bitcoin back at the end. Yeah, that's true, but there's also more risk because you have to put up a shitload more Bitcoin. You have to put out like 50% loan to value, whatever the hell it is. You got to put twice as much. If you want a $100,000 loan or something, you got to give them 2 Bitcoin, which is over $200,000. It's something crazy like that. Plus, you got to pay interest on this thing, and you got to wait like 3-4 years to get your total value back. That's super risky. Super risky. So you're giving them a ton of collateral, a ton of Bitcoin for just a smidgen of fiat back. Where the opposite end, the other way you could do is you just give them a little bit of Bitcoin for a little bit of fiat. It's a fair deal. So it's just risk, people are going to take the risk. I'm of the opinion that it's not worth it. I know that's uncommon. It seems uncommon because there's so many people pumping these products. And of course, they got affiliate links and all this type of stuff. You're not going to find affiliate links in this video because there ain't nothing to sell. It's just buy and hold Bitcoin. That's it. You need to live. You need dollars. Sell it. Sell a little Bitcoin. Live. Better yet, buy and sell directly with Bitcoin. Sell products and services and accept Bitcoin yourself. Give discounts for Bitcoin. Eventually, that will happen because all the merchants will. So you can look at it too like this. The people, when we buy, we're not going to want to spend our Bitcoin. This is where people get trapped too because they're like, we don't want to spend our money. Why would I spend it? You're dumb. If you spend it, it's just going to go up. Yeah, as a consumer, you're not going to want to spend it. But look at it on the other side of the coin. The merchants are going to want it. Why would they want to accept inflating currency that's becoming worth less and less over time when they could accept Bitcoin that's beautiful currency that's going to go up in value over time? So the merchants are incentivized to accept Bitcoin. The consumers are incentivized to save Bitcoin. What those two have in common is that both of those sides, both parties, want to keep Bitcoin. They want Bitcoin. So there will be a huge demand for Bitcoin once more people realize it and more people adopt it. Merchants will start giving discounts for Bitcoin because they'll want it so bad. They need to incentivize people to spend it, to use it. And we're just along that curve of adoption where right now, the people that are incentivizing consumers, the people that have the Bitcoin to sell, how they're incentivizing them is saying, hey, give me your Bitcoin, I'll give you fiat. Have your cake and eat it too. Free lunch. You get all this free fiat. And you know what? At the end of the day, we'll give you your Bitcoin right back. That's how it's worked with every other instrument, every other tool throughout history, because nothing was self-custody. All these digital products, you go to court, there's a judge, there's this legal system that says, there's a government that says, hey, give him his shit back. We'll garnish your wages. We'll do all this shit, you're protected in a sense because things are controlled. So with that government central control, it provides a layer of protection to bail everybody out. When you get in trouble, you can get bailed out. But Bitcoin breaks that whole system. It changes the whole game where there's no one that could bail you out. You might lose Bitcoin or get rugged and you'll go to court and you'll get repaid in fiat. They can't give you the Bitcoin back. They can't make Bitcoin. As powerful as the law structure is and the political structure and the governments, they can't make Bitcoin. They can't just give you Bitcoin. They'll give you fiat bucks, free currency that they make and control. And as that happens more and more, people will realize it. The value of Bitcoin will go up. The value of fiat will decrease. And you're playing this musical chair game, hoping that you can get in and get out before that happens, before everyone realizes it, before the scale tips. Right now, the scale is loading up. And you have two sides of the scale. And you know how scales work. Once it's overloaded, boom, it tips just like that instantly. It happens over time. That's why they say gradually, then suddenly. And right now, it's just gradually building. And it's exciting, I guess, for some, too, because they're taking risk. But you really value Bitcoin, you know what Bitcoin is. It's crazy to take that risk. So who knows? Just putting it out there because I'm seeing a lot of these people pop up. And I'll put a link to this dude's video in the description. A lot of these videos popping up talking about lending my Bitcoin is the best thing. You can have your cake, eat it too. It's a miracle. It's amazing. Hallelujah. I was watching this dude's videos talk about how he lost a half a Bitcoin. And he's still happy about it. No offense to this dude, whatever. Maybe he's doing great. I'm just saying, lending your Bitcoin is the same as selling your Bitcoin because all you're doing is giving up your keys. Yeah, you got a promise to pay, but on the Bitcoin blockchain, it's the same thing, man. You're giving up your keys, right? Stop looking at the world through the fiat world and our previous worlds. Just start looking at the world through the Bitcoin blockchain. Does Bitcoin know that there's an external, commitment to pay you back your Bitcoin? No, that shit's gone. And how can you force that company to give you your Bitcoin back? You take them to court, you sue them. Well, they'll maybe give you cash back, or maybe they'll give you a Bitcoin back at the price that it was previously after 5 years of litigation, right? You're going to lose. Most likely you're going to lose. Maybe some people will win. Take the risk. Maybe it's fun for some, but most likely you're going to lose. And hey, it is what it is. I was going to say something else too. What the hell else was I going to say? I don't know. I was going to say something else about, what was I going to say? Lending. Something about lending. The keys where they got the multi-sig and, that's collaborative custody. That's another cool ass thing that's coming out, right? Hey, you can hold one key. We'll hold another key and someone else will hold a third key. So you got one of three keys and you need two of three to make a transaction. Like, it makes you feel good in some sort of strange way, but you still can't do shit with one key. So yeah, maybe it protects you a little bit so that two companies that hold the other two keys aren't going to collude together and steal your shit. But it doesn't matter. You don't control your Bitcoin anymore. And that is the huge invention that everyone's missing. If you got a Bitcoin ETF, if you got a Bitcoin this, a Bitcoin that, a Bitcoin this, it doesn't matter. It's not Bitcoin unless you hold the keys in your wallet and only you can move it. That's Bitcoin. That's the invention. All these other layers and nonsense, it's not Bitcoin. It's bogus. So that's the story. Let's see, how this ages. I'm sure it will be unfortunate for a lot of people. It sucks, but just sell your Bitcoin if you need fiat. The game of lending is ridiculous. You have to give up a shitload more Bitcoin to get. So if you want a $50,000 loan right now, Bitcoin's like 110 grand. You got to give up a whole Bitcoin. Fuck that. That's that's just the double price. It's just too damn much. It's too damn risky. And then you're gonna get it back over. I mean, the loans and the ETF, they're two different things, but they're both similar in the fact that you just give up your keys, man. And giving up your keys is just such a scary thing. Giving up your Bitcoin to someone else is just super duper scary, and it's a risk. So I know everyone sugarcoats it. I'm just trying to say, man, that shit ain't sweet. It's risky as hell. And we just had FTX and Celsius and all the BlockFi stuff last cycle, and people still don't give a shit. It's like every cycle, every 4 years when shit gets hyped, there's a new fucking scam and everybody falls for it. Crazy.